white, red, brown, or black. You turn into a form of glory, fix that burning crack on the crown. Touching down, it's going down.
Well, it's not the YMCA song or whatever Trump has to do. What's your name, sir? Yeah. Everybody's got to have a good campaign song.
Right? Come on.
You know, it's hard to have to follow when you follow a bunch of preachers like that.
Come on.
Including you, Doctor.
Come on.
Because you did an amazing job. Funny story is I called her after I met her. I said, look, I'm serious about this running for Congress thing. And she was kind of like, you know, nobody knows who you are.
Right.
You know, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I found out it is a problem.
Yeah.
So I showed up to the South Bay meeting, and I brought a bunch of people with me. All cultures, black, Asian, Hispanic, white. But nobody knew they were really with me. And at the end, she gave me an opportunity. She said, hey, do you want to say something? And I said, yeah. I said, before I start, raise your hand if you're with me. And about 75% of the room, their hands went up. And then like another 10% went up, and they didn't know why they were raising their hand. But it made it look really good for dramatic effect. And I appreciate that, and I tipped them on the way out. But I said that day, it's not a matter of if I'm going to run. The question is am I going to run Republican? Because even though I've been a Republican for 20 years, I don't know, maybe 19 years, I suppose. I think we've all been really disappointed in recent days. But there's not an alternative really for us.
That's right.
We're going to take the Republican Party back.
Yeah.
Right? We need reform within the Republican Party.
That's right.
And we won't stop until we see it. And there is a new breed. There's many new breed people here today.
Come on.
They're standing up and they're taking the reins. So there's an elder, a Jewish elder, who was the first to say, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? And being only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? This is what God spoke to me when I was in Washington, D.C. He said, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? And I think that's something that many people have been hearing. If not me, then who? Don't make any mistake. That is God speaking to you.
That's right. Come on.
If you don't stand now, this is over.
That's right. That's right.
We are the last line of defense for what is happening in our nation.
Right.
And many people, guys, I'm in the Christian circle. That is my jam.
Right.
Look, I would rather be out still traveling the world, speaking, making movies, and where I'm known and popular, rather than stepping into this atmosphere of the political agenda, this demonic realm that I see. I would rather be doing what I like and what I know and what I've been successful at than do this.
That's right. Yeah. That's true.
But I know we are the last defense. And people say, these Christian people say to me, well, God's sovereign. He's got our nation. You know, I can't help but to think that there might have been some Jews in Germany who thought, well, my God is sovereign. He would never let something happen to me. I'm sure that there were some Christians in Iraq who thought, well, my God is sovereign. He would never let somebody throw acid in my face and burn me and cut my head off.
Come on.
I'm sure that there were some people in the communist country, as the Soviet Union, who thought, well, God is sovereign. Nothing will ever happen to me, when all of a sudden the government came in and took everything they had, divided up their money and gave their businesses away.
That's right.
Yeah, God is sovereign, but He expects you to do something.
Come on.
The sitting back and being lazy is not going to accomplish anything in our country. And this is the last defense.
That's right.
This is the season of the lions.
Yes.
And if we don't stand up now and roar,
Come on.
this country, this great experiment, this United States of America, is done.
That's right. Come on.
You know, I know everybody, they want to wait on Trump, and they want this, and they want that. We cannot afford to wait on Trump.
Right.
I love Trump. He's my president.
Right. Yes.
But he was just a president.
That's right.
God's calling every single person to stand up and make a change. I'm horrible about following notes because that's not how I preach.
Amen.
And I have these notes here, but I have to go on the inspiration of God within me.
Amen.
For those that are in the Spirit-filled church, they are recognize that as the anointing of God.
Right.
Okay? So as I drift back and forth, I don't apologize. So I didn't make this decision lightly in my life. I've been talking about running for office for 18 years. For 10 years, I was a Republican delegate in Missouri. And I really loved politics, not because of the political spirit behind it, but because I felt like I was really making a change in our nation. And it was kind of like this. When the Lord began to speak to me, he said this to me. You cannot complain about the way your country is if you're not willing to step in and try to make a change.
Yes.
So I'm tired of people that all they want to do is moan and groan. I was going to say something else. Moan and groan and complain. But you just want to be an armchair quarterback about how everybody else should be doing it different.
Oh, come on.
Well, get off of your couch.
Come
I was going to say get off your something else. Get off of your couch and do something.
Right.
When I was at that meeting at the South Bay Republican Assembly, there was a gentleman there who said, we need people to move in all aspects of government, from dog catcher to president.
That's right.
So maybe you're not called to run for Congress, but maybe you're called to run for the school board, which is really where we need some changes. Where we have schools teaching our kids that it's okay to masturbate at 5 years old, that it's okay to have sexual experimentation with the same sex, with other sexes at 12. That there's 254 and a half genders. I don't even know if that's right, but it's crazy. It grows every day. I mean, I thought there was male and female, but apparently there's all kinds of things in between according to them. But I would disagree with that. So we need people to run for office on every level.
That's right.
And you know what? The enemy really wants you to think that you can't do it.
Right.
But the reality is, this country was founded upon people just like you
Right. Yes.
that thought that they couldn't do it.
That's right.
But the inspiration of God hit them and inspired them to be bold.
Yes.
I say this all the time, and I will continue to say it until my last breath is leaving me, is that at the end of this life, nobody will ever say that I was a coward.
Come on.
Win, lose, or draw on whatever I do, I'm going to do it with boldness. I will never be a coward. That's why they had a slideshow earlier where I'm being drugged off from in front of Mayor Garcetti's house by the police. Why? Because he's not a good mayor.
Come on.
And I'm going to make a stand. Pastor Manuel down here at the end, he was with me, and many other people, and Joe Collins was with me, and many people when we had the protests at the Capitol we put together. We called it Revival Over Riots, because I was tired of seeing our cities burned to the ground. So Newsom's head of security called me and said, well, you can't come. I said, oh, I can, and I am. And he said, well, what if we, you're going to get arrested? I said, well, then you'll have to arrest me. Some people are going to have to go to jail to bring attention to the problem.
That's right.
He said, well, how about I just give you a permit? I said, that would be good. So he gave us a permit. We had, I think, a total of 600 people show up just to worship on the grounds of the Capitol and pray and decree and declare that God would have his way with California. God is calling bold people to the front lines. Amen?
Amen.
Although these are extremely dark times for us, it's also the most exciting times that anybody can live in.
That's right.
Because when it's darkest outside, you have the most potential to do the most good.
Yes, true. Yes, true.
Here's the truth. God has been preparing me for this my entire life.
Come on. Yes.
And He's also been preparing you.
That's right.
See, God's called us to be peacemakers, but we cannot be peacemakers unless we go into unpeaceful situations. You can't bring peace if you're not willing to step out of your comfort zone.
That's right.
Last week, everybody knows I got bear sprayed. Now, this is my first time being bear sprayed. I've been maced. I've been pepper sprayed. I've been tased. I've been beat. I've been clubbed. It was my first time being bear sprayed. That was awesome. Not really. But the reality is, it was just bear spray.
Come on.
What are you going to do when they come and drag your kids out of your house for mandatory vaccinations?
Come on.
Bear spray is going to be the least of my concerns.
That's right. That's right.
Somebody has to take a stand.
Yes.
And we can't be scared of things like bear spray.
Come on.
Pain is temporary. Let me tell you something. You're going to beg for that kind of pain if they take your nation from you.
That's right.
It's time to make a stand.
Yes.
But we can't bring peace unless we're willing to go into those situations. See, what people don't realize is every time I've had a confrontation with Antifa or BLM, it never ended the way people thought it would.
That's right.
There has been confrontation. I have had violence. But it always ends with me embracing them and them embracing me,
That's right.
shaking hands, fist bumping, hugging, exchanging phone numbers. Why?
Right.
Because they understand that I'm not afraid of them.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they understand that at the end of the day, I want peace.
That's right.
Does that mean I'm going to get through to all them? It's not what it means. But it means that I will continue to try to have dialogue above violence every day.
Yes. Come on. Yes. Come on.
Sometimes these moments will be difficult. And you're going to be met with major resistance as you step out.
Yes.
But I'm looking around this room, I see bold people that are willing to make a stand. Every person that came up here and spoke today, that's amazing. But the reality is, everybody in this room has a calling upon your life.
Yes.
And this is not the season for you to sit idle.
That's right.
This is the season for you to dig deep,
Yes.
talk with confidence,
Yes.
boot up,
Yes.
and stand strong.
Yes.
You know, the Bible tells us when you pressed in as far as you can. In Ephesians 6:13, I'll just read it to you. Therefore, this is out of the Amplified version, because why not put some sauce on it?
Right.
Therefore, all right, I'll get my preacher in me now. Therefore, everybody say therefore.
Therefore.
Put on the complete armor of God so that you will be able to successfully resist and stand your ground in the evil day of danger, and having done everything that the crisis demands, to stand firm in your place, fully prepared, immovable, and victorious.
Come on.
When you've done everything you can, stand.
Yes. Right.
Even when Antifa attacks you, we stand.
Right.
Even when the race
The Lord is with you.
gets tough, you got to stand.
Yes.
Even when the establishment attacks you, you stand. Even when Christians attack you, you stand. Do you know how many Christians came against me last year when I was the only one, I thought, making a stand? I said, no, we will never shut the doors on the church. We'll never do it. That's where I met Pastor Steve, was out May 1st
Come on.
at City Hall protesting for our rights. Pastor Manuel never shut his church. And I met Timothy. He never shut his church. People took a stand. But Christians said, well, you really ought to obey the laws of the land. I said, I am! It's called the First Amendment in the United States of America. I will worship how, when, and where I want. It's on the front door of my house. We've planted, this is the 39th church we've planted across the nation.
That's right.
The 39th.
That's right.
So we always start in a house.
That's right.
Because you don't just grow overnight, right?
Right.
So on the front door of my house, I have a sign up every week that says, this is my First Amendment right.
That's right.
No trespassing unless you're here to worship. If you're a law enforcement officer and you're not here to worship, you're not allowed.
That's right.
And I list the First Amendment on that paper, on that framed article on my door. And then right below it says, I also believe in my Second Amendment right to protect my First Amendment right. So you really need to think before you enter my house.
Come on now. Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. It was said to me recently that there was a Uganda proverb, and I really like this. It really touched my heart, and it's really motivated me. There's this Uganda proverb that says, in times of crisis, you can choose to build dams, or you can build bridges.
That's right.
And I've chosen in this hour to build bridges.
That's right.
There's been a whole lot of people that have built dams in their life and hid behind walls.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Called the basement. That's where Joe Biden went.
Oh.
Or whatever. I had a Joe Biden sucks flag there. Everybody said, my wife and my campaign manager, don't hang that up. Okay. All right. I'll listen. I'll just talk about it.
Of course you will.
But we got to build bridges. You know, one of the things that I feel like we're missing as conservatives is meeting that radical middle, right?
Yeah.
See, there's a middle ground where we can still reach people that are on the left.
That's right. That's
Where,
right.
see, let me just distinguish something for you. The Lord really dealt with me. I can't separate my Christian life from my political agenda. Everything I do is still God, 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 right? And it's not going to change. So if people don't like that, don't vote for me. That's
There
it.
you go. That's it.
But the Lord really spoke to me. He said, look, Democrats are not your enemies. Antifa is not your enemy. BLM is not your enemy. There's a demonic stronghold that's behind it. That's your enemy.
Yes.
But there are people that are in the middle that can still vote the way we need. They're not lost people.
That's right. That's right.
No one is.
So we have to build bridges to them. I think it's interesting that the Navy Seabees, you everybody know what the Navy Seabees are?
Yeah.
So the Navy Seabees, it's a branch of the Navy, obviously, and they're a construction branch. And the Seabees, their logo is this big B with a machine gun and a hammer. A machine gun in one hand, a hammer in the other. It actually comes from the letters C and B, which stands for Construction Battalion. And I really think that it represents us today. That we will go into this battle with a weapon in one hand, but a hammer in the other.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That we go in to build bridges, but we're not afraid to defend ourselves.
Right?
We go in with the intention of fixing broken relationships,
Yes.
broken things, broken government, but we're also not afraid of defending the Constitution, our rights, our families, our freedom. We will be builders in this time,
Yes.
but we will also fight off those wolves.
That's
Right?
right. Come on.
And I think we're going to start with rebuilding the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And it's already happening.
It's already.
It's already happening. I heard it when I was at the South Bay meeting. Everybody was already talking about how do we build this back?
Right.
How do we come back from this?
Yes.
Let's start with the elephant in every room in the whole United States. Every night right now, if you're politically oriented, voter integrity.
Right?
How many people feel like that is a issue that needs to be dealt with?
Yes.
Well, I'm working right now. We've been working for some time, been working with people that are with Project Veritas.
Yes.
And I have an idea that we're presenting and we're going to push. And we're calling it the Illumination Directive. I'm not talking Illuminati for all you conspiracy theories out there. I see you. I see you. It's called the Illumination Directive. We have an idea to have a bipartisan group, a committee of poll watchers. Now, everybody's like, well, that already exists. Hear me out. It'll get crazy. Either you're going to like it or you're going to hate it. But these guys will be stationed at every poll, in every district, in every county, in every state with zero restrictions, zero,
That's right.
on their ability to observe voting, vote counting, and vote storage. Now, here's where it gets good. We will equip these watchers with body cams, just like law enforcement,
Yes.
that will capture every moment
Wow.
of what the poll watchers see and hear.
Come on.
These body cams then, this is crazy, will in real time be uploaded to an online platform where any citizen at any time can log into a polling station of their choosing to be one of the millions of citizen poll watchers all across this nation. Let me tell you something. Out of fear, this will eliminate most cheating
Right?
Yes.
That's right.
and fraud because people will be afraid to be exposed.
Yes.
And some people think, well, we could never do that. Oh, we can do it. If we can live stream Facebook Lives, billions of people at a time across platforms, then we can do that. And then at the same time, see, people want to go back to handwritten ballots. I agree. I love the idea of going back to handwritten ballots with signatures. This is not the nature of how technology works.
That's right.
They will never vote to go backwards in technology.
That's right.
We could try, and I agree we should. I just don't think we're going to go there. So I have an idea that we're going to create a bipartisan tech team, that their job is to be tech poll watchers. These people are vetted by both sides, and their job is to make sure that the possibility of hacking from within our country and from outside our country is eliminated.
That's
Yes.
right. Yes.
So we're going to push that not only in California, but we're going to push that in the entire nation.
Yes.
We're going to end, guys, we've got to end this senseless amount of funding to other countries for silly things.
Yes.
We literally sent $25 million to Pakistan for gender study.
Yes.
Are you kidding me right now? It's appalling because I can give you a gender study in about 3 seconds.
Come on.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Pay up. Problem solved, study finished, give me some cash. I'm going to split it with all the other candidates here, and we're going to win.
Right?
Come on.
Why are we spending so much money on other countries that want to kill us?
Right?
Exactly.
We're literally funding their militaries,
Yes.
the very ones that want to destroy us.
That's right.
It doesn't make any sense. When we can go into any street in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Modesto, Fresno, probably where you're at, and see thousands of homeless people on the streets living in filth, but we're sending $25 million a pop, billions of dollars sometimes, $15 billion to the Ukraine
Yes.
last year.
Devil's a liar.
And we can't fix our own streets.
Right?
Right.
In California, we have the worst roads I've ever seen in this city. In this city, the worst road. I literally had to go through 2 Grand Canyons to get here. And we have the highest taxes in the United States. And I'm still paying for parking meters and getting tickets because I don't pay them.
Oh.
Just kidding. Kind of kidding. So we pay the highest taxes and we can't fix a road in our city?
Come on.
Come on now. And they're spending $700,000 per tiny home to home some homeless people. $700,000 per tiny home.
What?
Do you think that there might be some people getting a spiff on that?
Yeah.
$700,000? You can buy a whole house for $700,000. $700,000 for a tiny house? $700,000 for a doghouse? You've got to be kidding me. If you don't think people are on the take, then you're blind.
Right?
We got to cut the fat.
Open your eyes.
We got to cut the fat.
Come on.
Small businesses are being shut down for good in our state. And every blue state, honestly. Every blue state. But California is the worst. I read the other day that 70% of hospitality businesses owned by small business owners shut down in 2020. 50% of those will never reopen. That is devastating. You know what? Every job is essential when you got kids at home.
Right? Right?
When you can't give them the Christmas that you want to give them. When you can't give them the shoes that you want to give them. Or how about that weird place in the middle where you're not poor enough yet to get health, but you make too much money for anything else? You don't make money to pay your bill. I mean, what's that weird area where you can't even get help?
Right?
Come on, guys. That job is essential.
That's right.
How many people in here feel like you are essential?
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely, because God said you're essential.
Right.
All lives matter.
Right. Yes.
And by the way, black baby lives matter too.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
And that's why we're going to start an initiative right now. We're already working on it with churches when it comes to abortion. Listen, this is someplace we can meet the radical middle. The church is really bad about complaining and screaming about pro-life until they're born. And then we drop them like a rock.
That's right.
That's not okay. That's not Jesus, by the way, either.
Come on.
And the church is the main ones. Pro-lifer, you go out there and you protest with your duct tape on your face, you scream and yell, you holler, and until the lady decides to have the baby, and then where are you at? You're not there helping raise the baby.
That's right.
And then you complain and moan and groan about programs, but you didn't want them to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject, but
Yeah,
I'm not afraid to touch the touchy subjects.
Tell the truth.
We have to have programs that help these children that you cried and complained and screamed about them having.
That's right.
Right?
This is my idea. As a Christian, it should be at our top priority to have a spirit of adoption upon our lives.
Yes. Come on.
Every single church should be able to have one family that adopts a kid.
Yes.
So we want to start a program where we take families and we equip them for adoption.
Yes.
We fund them for adoption. And every church can have one family where they fund that adoption and the church helps pay for it and the church helps put up money for their education and the church. Listen, guys, the church has to step up and be who the church was called to be. This ain't no country club.
Right?
Wasn't that a Sheryl Crow song?
Yeah.
This ain't no country club.
That's right. This is it.
This LA. Right, anyway. I have such a heart for babies. Such a heart. But we all need to have that heart. And we all need to have a heart for those that are struggling because they don't have the support. Amen.
Amen.
We can reach that middle ground with those people.
Yes.
Immigration, I believe, is a place that we can meet in the middle on. Listen, guys, I am pro-border.
Yes.
What is happening at our southern border right now is crazy. We're actually taking a team of people. We're working with Steve, and I don't know if anybody has heard of the Conservative Latino. We're working on taking a team of people down to the border. It's not gonna be the border of California, because the border of California is not that bad actually right now. Right now, it's not that bad. But we're gonna go over to Texas and we're gonna see it for ourselves.
That's right.
We're gonna film it for ourselves. We have to be people that don't just say it, we have to do it. And in order to do it, you can't just be talking about what you've seen on TV. You got to see it with your own eyes.
That's right.
So I am pro border wall. If you're not going to come here the right way, then don't come. Period.
That's right.
However, I think that if you come here the right way, we have to make a pathway to citizenship way easier.
Yes.
Way easier. I have known people in my life. I'm married into a Hispanic family. I have known people in my life where it takes 15, 20 years for them to gain their citizenship. And they're tax-paying people.
That's right.
They're giving back to our society. There's no reason why it should take that long.
That's right.
There are things that we can do to meet in the middle. But we have to get rid of sanctuary cities.
Right.
Sanctuary cities where people can disappear just waiting to do their next crime. We've got to end that. California is the worst.
Yes.
It is the worst
Yes.
on sanctuary cities.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's my preacher. Well. And I want to end tonight, with talking about cancel culture.
Come on.
This is something near and dear to me because I've been canceled 1,000 times this year. I've had my Facebook shut down, I think, 10 times in 2020 and 20. I can't do a live stream for, I think, another 50 days or something right now. And I mean, they think they're hurting my feelings, and I wear it as a badge of pride.
Right? Come on.
Because every time they take me down, I know it's because I spoke truth.
Right?
That's exactly right.
But guys, listen, this whole cancel culture business is, it's literally a mold, a poison upon our nation.
Right.
I mean, this is literally, it's globalism, it's socialism. I would even venture to say this is like Nazism.
Yeah.
Where they want to burn books. I saw him the other day when he was headed to Sacramento wearing the Dr. Seuss socks. It's such a statement. It's true. I've been taking Mr. Potato Head with me everywhere.
Woo! Yeah, come
Right?
on.
Because
Come
it's a
on.
statement. I will not be canceled. We need to have the freedom to be free thinkers. You know what I told when I went to talk to the Antifa guys the other day? I had Neil was with me, and I stood there and I walked up to them. They didn't have to come find me. I find them. I see you over there. I went and talked to them. I think there was probably about 30 of them, 40 of them at the time. They're all sitting around. I walked right up on them. I said, I just want to talk to you guys. And I began a conversation with them. And I said, look, I didn't say anything. I'm wearing a Republican pin, and I was wearing a red shirt and a jacket, and I'm not Antifa. I said, look, I'm proud of you. Let me tell you the looks I got. First of all, you know that many of those people had never heard those words from an adult in their life. That somebody was proud. It's an orphan spirit upon their life.
That's right. That's
I
right.
said, I'm proud of you. And let me tell you why I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because you have an idea and you're willing to fight for it.
Right?
I said, I don't want you to shut up. When I'm defending our freedom, I'm defending your right to have your opinion and to scream as loud as you want.
Right?
I said, stop tearing our cities down.
Yes.
Stop the violence, but scream as loud as you want. I said, if you think that those in Washington have your best interest in mind, you're wrong.
Yeah.
If you think that they have my best interest in mind, you're wrong. I said, we are all pawns in the same game.
That's exactly
right.
right.
The establishment is made for us to destroy each other.
That's right.
Liar.
Yeah.
I said, you need to run for office. If you believe in what you're saying that much, then run for office.
Yeah.
Run for office. Let your opinion be heard. Let them see it with confidence. Let them see it with pride. And they kept looking at me, and they're shaking their heads. They're shaking their heads in agreement, and they couldn't believe. They're looking around. They can't believe that they're even agreeing with me. And then I got pepper sprayed. Later.
Later.
But I mean that. I told them, I said, don't think that you won't be the next person to get canceled.
But they also help.
Because they're going to get, do you guys see? Yeah, they did, by the way. When I got pepper sprayed, guess who came and helped me? They did. They did. They came and gave me medical attention.
Yes, they did.
Because some of them knew. And I remember someone was like, leave him alone, and or don't help him. And these Antifa people were like, no, he's cool. Because I reached somebody.
Right?
If you can reach just one, that's what I've always said in the church. If you could just reach just one, it's worth it. Jesus left the 99 to go after the one.
Right? Come on.
Right?
Come on.
Amen.
Amen.
But we can't continue to back down from cancel culture. We got to stand with pride.
That's right.
We got to be bold. We got to be courageous.
Yes.
Right. Come on.
People are losing their jobs. You know how many people I've known that lost their job? I know people personally that lost their jobs because they went to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. They didn't participate in the insurrection. They weren't even on the Capitol grounds. But they came back and they lost their job because they were a supporter of conservative values. Is that the country we're in? Yes.
Yes.
That's the short answer. Yes, that is the country we're in. And you think it's going to get better without a fight? It's not. Friends, today we're dangerously close to losing our country. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, every value in the Constitution, everything in the Bill of Rights, they literally talk about how it's an outdated document.
Yep.
We have an opportunity to make a stand by electing real people to do the job that politicians have been wanting to live a lifetime of luxury. Guys, you know how many people, like Maxine Waters, 40 years in Congress? Come on, guys, it's pathetic. 44 years in Congress. Make a bank off of you. Do you think she cares about you? But fear drives people to vote for her. Fear is taking over my district in 33rd. I was supposed to have this meeting in the 33rd. This is in the 33rd district, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, we know.
Because I can't even get a building in the 33rd district to do this meeting in. I got canceled because the church was afraid of violence. And you're going to continue to be afraid of violence if you don't make a stand. I know that Doctor over here has had problems finding a building to do the GOP meeting in because of fear. We have to take a stand. It's time to make real changes, and it starts with voting for people that aren't the normal. Guys.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the church and the government reflect each other.
Come on.
People continue to, I've been in church, I've been in ministry, I've been fairly successful. Author, movies, traveled the world, doing these big things, but I always watched these snake oil salesmen,
Oh.
and I'm not trying to be judgmental, I'm just being real, that get these millions of dollars coming in from people, and these guys are just selling them a bill of goods.
Come on.
It's a reflection of the government too, though, right? We complain and groan and moan about what they're doing, but that continues to be where we send our money,
That's right. Come on.
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell the truth.
That continues to be who we vote for.
Yeah.
That continues to be what we do. It's time to stop doing the normal. It's time to do a new thing. It's time to do something fresh. It's time to vote for people like these guys that aren't the establishment. I'm going to finish up. I'm going to bring up Tim, wherever he's at. I can't see the lights are bright. Tim's going to come up. And then my friend Pastor Manny is going to come up. And he's going to pray over the nation. And we're going to pray over all the candidates. And we're going to release. I know people have church in the morning, but we have cake and food in there, and we want you to hang out and take pictures. And I'd love to meet you. I'd love to take a picture with you. I love you guys. I thank you so much for coming out. I do ask you, anything helps us right now. As a new candidate, as somebody who's not run for office, who's having to do this full time, it's a grind every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I remember doctor said, this is going to have to be your full-time job.
That's right.
You remember you telling me that on the phone? She said, well, this is going to have to be your full-time job. I said, okay. And it has become more than a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
It's become more than that.
Oh, yes.
And so we have to get the finances in. And because I'm a new guy, there's not a whole lot of that coming in. So anything you guys can do will help. And I think Tim has that information. But I love you guys regardless. I love you for coming out. I love you for making a stand. I appreciate you guys. And let's do a picture. Tim, coming up.